Thursday afternoon, February 3rd, Brad Restituto, as you can see below, at Brad the Believer on Twitter and on Instagram. Please give me a like and follow on those social media platforms, and also the stuff I'm working on the YouTube channel at Brad the Believer. You can search there. I want to try to make this a 10-minute video for the YouTube purposes, to get in and out, get the most likes, trying to build that channel. So if you want some more content and longer stuff, I'm going to be on Sports X Radio this Friday. That's locally here in Las Vegas, AM 720, 100.5 FM with Ken Thompson. We're going to have a deep dive into Super Bowl week, the coaching carousel. So please tune in to the TuneIn app and search SportsX Radio. Go to sportsxradio.com or find it on any of your searching platforms. SportsX Radio, locally Las Vegas, AM 720, 100.5 FM. And you can follow Ken on Twitter, Ken Thompson, THOMSON, and SportsX Radio. But let's jump right into it. And I'm going to finish this video, I'm hoping, around the 10 to 12 minute mark with an inspirational message that I read today that was great for me. If you don't know, or if you do know, the last handful of months, I've really dived into the spiritual side of my life, my relationship with God, and have some inspirational stuff that's really helped me to become a better person, because that's the personal goal I'm on, trying to be the best version of myself through my relationship with God and Jesus Christ. And it means a lot to me, and I think it's helping me become the best version of myself I can be. So if you're interested in that and you want to hear that, wait till the end. If you're not, you can pass it by. So we'll jump right into the sports. Of course, Super Bowl coming up here on Sunday, February 13th. The Cincinnati Bengals, the underdog story, second year Joe Burrow against Matt Stafford and company with the LA Rams. It's going to be a fantastic Super Bowl. The sports betting line currently sits in most places as the Rams as a 4.5-point favorite. And I think it's going to be a fantastic matchup. You could take a lot of different perspectives on how you want to approach betting this, or who do you think might win. I'm of the belief personally that even though it's a home game at SoFi Stadium for the Rams, I think that could be more of a distraction. Having all of your friends and family right there in the vicinity could be more of a distraction in your focus level and what you're trying to manage and navigate and compartmentalize, having everything all right there. And for a lot of guys on the Rams team, their first experience in the Super Bowl, and of course, less experience on the Bengals side, having only one player that has Super Bowl experience. But to me, the pressure's off the Bengals. They're traveling to LA. They're feeling great, feeling free, and everything's fallen into place for them to get to the point where they're at. Cool Joe Burrow in his second season as a quarterback for the Bengals. And look, the Bengals have pressed all the right buttons. And let's give Mike Brown, the general manager, credit. Let's give some of the personnel credit. Duke Tobin, Bill Tobin, father and son, heavy entities in the front office of the Bengals helping this decision making. Of course, it's a slam dunk, the choice for Joe Burrow, number 1 overall 2 seasons ago, but it wasn't quite a slam dunk for what the Bengals were going to do with their top 5 pick this past draft. This draft, was it going to be Penei Sewell to help anchor that offensive line, the offensive tackle out of Oregon, or was it going to be Jamar Chase, the consensus number 1 overall receiver in this past draft, played college ball with Joe Burrow? And it looks like the Bengals hit a home run and made the right decision. I was completely on board and pulling for that decision. I thought you had to make that choice. The Bengals did. They drafted Chase, and it's got them to the Super Bowl. I mean, what else could you have wanted if you're a Bengals fan or organization? They've absolutely exceeded expectations. But will the downfall of the Bengals be in this big game, the last game of the season? Will it be that offensive line against the fantastic defensive line of the LA Rams? But that's why this storyline is so great, and it's going to be so interesting to watch. And a lot of people think that's why that line is continuing to move in the Rams' favor, because they look 2.5 weeks ago, and the Tennessee Titans, the victory that the Bengals went on the road and got that win to propel them to the AFC Championship game. Burrow was sacked 9 times. And we know that defensive line of the Rams is more heralded and more praised and has a little bit more talent. So how will the Bengals be able to counteract that? And I think that's the great chess match going into this Super Bowl matchup. What will Zach Taylor and company have in store to counteract that pass rush? Will Joe Mixon be able to get off in the running game, in the short passing game? And that's why we play the game. And that's why we love it, because it's going to be a great chess match between the head coaches and the personnel trying to get their players in the best position to succeed, and understanding the strengths and the weaknesses on both sides of the ball from both the Cincinnati side and the LA Rams side. So it's going to be kind of the intangibles, I think, that may propel how the outcome of this game takes place. And keep in mind this, and this is one of my favorite angles if you're a Cincinnati fan, which I will be rooting for Cincinnati to cover that spread and win the game. But there's three things. To me, it's these three draft picks that are huge for Cincinnati and their success to get them where they're at right now. Number one, of course, hands down, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, national champion, cool as a cucumber under pressure, fantastic decision maker, very prepared. And I'll get into more detail on that with Ken tomorrow on SportsX Radio and also some of the stuff that I do here on the YouTube channel. Jamar Chase, the absolute right choice as we sit right now in this last draft, pairing him with Joe Burrow, and Evan McPherson, the cool as ice kicker from the University of Florida, who in my opinion is the best kicker we've seen maybe in multiple decades, has been cold as ice during this season. Perfect in the playoffs. And if you really reflect on the Bengals season and you look at week one, the victory against the Vikings in overtime, the Dalvin Cook fumble, and then the Bengals coming down, kicking the game-winning field goal in overtime. And you can go and reflect on the Bengals season, little moments here and there, little kicks here and there, penalties here and there, that if it would have went the other way, the Bengals might not be in the position they're in right now. And that's how close this NFL is. It's a game of inches, and that's true to the core. And all those things fell into place and have lined up for the Bengals to be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl come February 13th, the first time the Bengals have been in the Super Bowl in 35 plus years. So I'm excited to see how this transpires. I think McPherson, I think Burrow, and Chase are the anchors of success for this team. And of course, the great, outstanding coaching job Zach Taylor and company have done for the Bengals. The least penalized team in the league this year, which could pay dividends come Super Bowl Sunday. As I think this is going to be a close game. And even if it's not, we know that the Bengals are capable of storming back and they're never out of it. And I love that storyline in this matchup, because let's say that the Rams get off to a fast start and they're up double digits at halftime. You got to believe, and you know, that this game is never over till it's over, that Joe Burrow and the Bengals are that kind of team where until the clock hits zero, this game's never over. So if the Chiefs can't put you away up 21-3 with a chance to go up 27 or 28-3, you got to know that you got a chance against the Rams, because the Rams blew a huge lead against Tampa Bay and almost gave that away. So I think we're in store for another classic playoff game in the biggest game of them all. As we've seen all the way up to this point in these playoffs, every game has been nail-biting and on the edge of your seat. So that's it's going to be fun to watch, and I hope everybody gives some feedback and tunes in. I'm going to give you my pick right now. I'm going to go ahead and take the points. I think the Bengals plus the 4.5 is the way to go, and I'll dive more into the details behind that with Ken tomorrow on SportsX Radio. Man, the coaching carousel that's gone on in the NFL the last 48 hours, from the Vikings potentially hiring Jim Harbaugh and not offering him the contract, the Brian Flores bombshell with the lawsuit with the NFL, and of course the narrative that we've heard for quite some time now, the racism and the systemic racism that's instilled in corporate America, in the United States, and more importantly, professional sports. Man, it's a lot to uncover here in the last 2 minutes. So me and Ken will dive deep into that. Please tune in if you want to hear more about our opinions there with the whole coaching carousel. But it looks like from the Vikings perspective, the next domino to fall will be them hiring offensive coordinator from the LA Rams, Kevin O'Connell, who played his college ball at San Diego State, also had some stints of offensive coordinator position with the Washington football team, with the Rams here coming into the Super Bowl in this season, one of Sean McVay's coveted offensive assistants. I think it's a great hire for the Vikings. We'll see what they do with Kirk Cousins at quarterback and some of the other pieces they have in store. A couple of openings still in place. The Houston Texans, New Orleans Saints still looking to fill their head coaching positions. And here locally, the Las Vegas Raiders pulled the trigger on Josh McDaniels, longtime assistant and offensive coordinator with the New England Patriots, and Mark Ziegler being the GM over there. I personally think it's a great move for the Raiders. I think what Mark Davis said in his press conference about the culture of the Patriots is spot on. Their resume is uncomparable, okay? The New England Patriots and Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and that organization has been the pillar of champions and success for well over a decade, and it's absolutely unmatched. So if you have an opportunity to take a guy and pluck a guy like Josh McDaniels, even though some of the success of that coaching tree hasn't had the success that you would have expected, I think Josh McDaniels has had an opportunity in the past with Denver. He admitted to have failed. He kind of had a blunder when the Indianapolis Colts were going to hire him. I think he's matured from that. I think he's a smart enough football guy and man to understand where he fell short in the past. And I think he's going to apply that maturation here with the Raiders. And I'm excited to see what the Raiders might do with Derek Carr and with some of the pieces they have in store there. So I'm going to wrap this video up. And like I said at the beginning, guys, I wanted to share kind of an inspirational thing that I read this morning here in my devotional book that's really got me motivated to attack the rest of my day. And for me, the message was Jesus is enough. And it goes on by saying, people saved by the grace of God too often allow themselves to fall back into following the law of achieving good works, trading their liberty for legalism. And in the Bible, Paul boldly declared that the Galatians had not received the Spirit of God by anything they had done. The Spirit came into their lives because they trusted in Jesus, who had clearly displayed that his death was sufficient to save them, keep them, and sustain them. But false teachers, to convince them that Jesus wasn't enough, their experience with Christ was incomplete. Religion always says, in quotes, never enough. It always demands more. Obey the laws, rules, measure up, and then you can be accepted. Paul's message was, you are forgiven, you are loved, you are cherished. God accepts you, not based on what you do, but what Christ accomplished on the cross. Your standing with God is not based on your performance, but on Christ's provision that you're a child of God. Lay down your religion and your striving. Jesus is enough. Man, that hit me big time today, because so much I try to, in my own personal life, plan things out too far ahead and try to put these labels and prognostications on my future, instead of allowing where I am in the moment to be enough, and to do my best now and keep doing the next right thing and building relationships. And it's on God's time that my time will come. I really believe the blessings will be outpouring for me in 2022. I believe a lot through God, of course, through God. I'm just a vessel in this flesh. This is not my pride saying I am better than or greater than, even though I believe that the good Lord has blessed me with a lot of ability and talents to lead men and to be an impactful human being in this life, to do great things. And I believe that's in store for me, but I got to continue to strive to do the next right thing, and to do the little right things when nobody's looking. And that's the key. If I'm going to stand before a group of men or a group of people in this life and inspire and motivate and encourage, but behind closed doors or when no one's looking, I'm trying to slide and skim and get away with things, instead of being not only telling people about what it takes to have integrity, but to actually live that type of lifestyle. So I'm working on that. God's working on me. And when my time comes, I'm going to be fully convinced and convicted that the words that I say are going to be backed up by the way I live my life. And that's my goal right now. And I'm going to keep taking it one day at a time. So look, I appreciate everyone jumping on and listening today. Please like and follow the YouTube channel. Tell your friends about it, at Brad the Believer. And please stay tuned, because we're working on some big things this year. I'm hoping to partner with my job at the Silverton this upcoming season to do some great things. So I'm hoping those conversations are in the works, and some other conversations to really, really do some amazing things here this year. I feel like I have a great group of contacts, a great group of people in my circle that I'd love to continue to connect with. So those people know who they are. And if they don't, just look back on your texts over the new year and the Christmas time, because if I reached out to you, you're someone that I find a lot of value in and importance. And I know we can do great things together at some point in time down the road. So I hope everybody has a great rest of your week, and we'll talk soon. All right, take care.